Stop that. Stop that. Stop that. I hear him chatting the noise. Move too quick, can't stop for the talking. I hear him chat with the walking. Just too sharp with the prize. White girls let it tell me I'm awesome, yeah. Hot like fire on the pan. If you wanna touch my please use caution. Cold like 0 degrees. I'm out the cage, gotta let out the beast. Revolutionary, gotta let out the streets. Locked in a cage, I'ma let out the sheets. You can't go up, man, forget my peace. You take the west, I'll take on the east. I'ma put them in the cage, never let out the. I hear him chatting the noise. Move too quick, can't stop for the talking. I hear him chat with the boys. Not so tough, but minds keep walking, yeah. Just too sharp with the prize. White girls, let it tell me I'm awesome, yeah. Hot like fire on the pan. If you wanna touch my please use caution. Stop that. Stop that. Stop that.
Good morning. Yesterday's show was pretty awesome. I would like to say, Pablo, fantastic host.
Why am I not sitting? Why are you not sitting in Dan's chair?
You are sitting.
Yeah. I am sitting in Stugotz's chair. Dominique, his genitals are just hovering.
Why are you looking at me?
His shorts are so tight.
Yeah, they look good, right? You got to show them quads, baby.
His shorts match his socks and his shoes and his T-shirt. It is a great look.
You like it?
I actually love it. I'm just happy your leg is down.
Do we want Dominique to do a standing desk show the entire time?
Before we digress into foolishness, I would like to say, Cooper Flagg, am I right? That boy was cooking.
You have a crush? You have a crush on Cooper Flagg?
So my brother-in-law introduced me to Cooper Flagg about 2.5 years ago on social media. And I was so impressed because he was tall and athletic. But I did not expect him at 17 years old to be on the select team giving work to the modern-day dream team. Look at these highlights of Cooper Flagg.
You're gonna narrate all of this Cooper Flagg description without naming some relevant characteristics that make him actually a story that's really worth discussing.
I don't know. The only story that's worth discussing is he's a 17-year-old boy, and he was, by some people's account, the best player in the USA select team versus the USA Olympic team game yesterday, where they only lost by 1, and Cooper was clearly dominant at 17 years old, being defended by Drew Holiday. Get it out the net.
To become a man at 18? So he's a 17-year-old boy, but you can be in the NBA and be up at 18, and then you're a man.
Yeah. That's really, it seems like you're asking a question. Like, this is
a hell of a transition.
It's the law. Yeah, you're 17.
Just because you have rights when you turn 18, I don't view that as you're ready to.
We can call him a man, a 17-year-old man. The point is, he is incredible, and that's all that matters.
So the U.S. Olympic team, this one, as I gushed about yesterday, is like actually vibratingly impressive. Everyone who's on this,
hell yeah,
super impressive. Love it. Chris, a hell yeah.
He's sneaky athletic to me, Cooper Flagg.
No. Based on one game,
on you.
You guys saw one set of highlights. You guys are couch scouts.
Did you not hear? I said I've been watching him since about 2.5 years ago, and I believe that Chris believes he's sneaky athletic because he's like 6'10", which like you're not supposed to be that athletic.
Also white.
Oh, huh? What?
Sounds creepy when you say you've been watching 15-year-olds on YouTube.
Fair point. I'm here today. Pablo's sitting in the other chair. We got my buddy David Sampson. David and I had an argument last night at dinner. Pablo violated us a number of times at dinner last night.
Fair.
There were a lot of things that happened at dinner last night. We'll get to those at some point, but back to my man Cooper Flagg.
Can Kravitz weigh in? Kravitz is also here.
About Cooper?
He's got a weird jump shot.
Don't do the self-hate. Don't be harder on him.
I have so much in common with Cooper Flagg, athletically and physically.
Charlie.
Kravitz. I get what you're saying. However, Juju's in the middle, guys. Charlie Kravitz, you guys know him. He's my producer and co-host on my show. Just so everyone knows who is not watching on YouTube live right now.
David Sampson called Charlie your safety blanket yesterday.
Shout out. He's vanilla snack. That's what the people on the snow call him.
Okay, thank you.
People on the show. So first time. So Charlie's been kind of.
He's Justin Timberlake.
Yeah, he's been a producer for a while, and people would know him. And when you and I did a show together, people saw his hands but never his face. So people knew of him but didn't know what he looked like. So the first time he came on the show, social media did got a little excited about how he was handsomer than they expected. So someone called him the vanilla snack on Twitter. So it's stuck. And then someone else called him sugar cookie. These are things that.
But why is he here?
Because he's my dog. What you mean? You don't ride with your dogs? All right.
David,
No,
that was
dogless.
mean. Why is he here?
David Sampson is dogless.
I am dogless.
No dog.
I love that Juju's here. I haven't seen Juju since his birthday, and we both agreed that birthdays they're for relaxing now.
Right.
We're past the point.
Right. A lot of salute to everyone who wished me happy birthday. Thank you so much. I'm getting back to the messages. And also salute to all the brothers who reached out during Men's Mental Health Month. Brothers, I got like hundreds of messages, so I'm getting to them. I did not forget about you guys. I got y'all in my heart for sure.
I think that there shouldn't be a mental health month anymore. This is my new thing. I think every day. I don't like when it's just that month.
We're going to just clip that part the way you said.
You can clip whatever you want, but the theory is this, like Father's Day or Mother's Day. I don't agree with it. You should be a good father every day. You should be recognized as being a good father every day, or a good mother, or anniversary. You're just nice to your wife on your anniversary, or you just think about people's mental health during Mental Health Month.
Any thoughts on Black History Month?
Yeah. Right. Black History Month. Why is that?
Oh, I don't think
boy.
I don't think he was agreeing with
Clip
you.
that as well.
Wait, why shouldn't we be dealing and recognizing that every day?
See,
You're right about that part.
I should.
Let's have Christmas every day.
It feels like I have to explain so many things to you. I just want to talk about how nasty Cooper Flagg is. That's all I
You
want
want
to
to celebrate
about.
White History Month?
Like the reason why
Is that every month?
We'll get back to Cooper Flagg. I will help you out once again, as I did yesterday, teaching you something new in every segment. Like the point.
Right. I'm going to take notes.
You should.
Okay, I'm ready.
The point is because these things are not acknowledged. That's why you have these special. It's more likely to they aren't. The point of having Black History Month.
David,
the point of having
David is writing down. Don't say that we should eliminate Black History Month.
the point of having a Mother's Day and Father's Day is because yes, maybe you're right. Every day you should appreciate and celebrate, but people don't. That's the point.
So you need a Hallmark holiday to appreciate your mom?
To remind you that you should say yes.
You think you're on the right side of this? Am I really on am I
not.
so out of it that I'm on the wrong
Well,
side
David,
of
it's
this?
like the easiest stance ever, like what you're doing. It's like Hulk Hogan cupping his hand to his yes.
But no
we
one
should be
does
nice
it.
to moms every day. We should
I do.
pay the teachers every day.
Pay the teachers.
Did you see that step back? Ooh, the dream shake on the baseline. Cooper is nasty.
Do you think he'll make the NBA?
Are you?
For sure.
Okay, can
Number one.
Can I have a thought? Can I do this? Is this
Number
okay?
one.
I'm
He's
so
gonna
sorry
make
for
it.
everybody
You guys are
involved.
done.
David
You guys
Sampson,
are something, man.
I'm so sorry, big brother. That might be a penalty box move. I'm
Yeah.
not sure the authority
Yeah.
of
Hey.
when Dan ain't
Juju does
here.
have a tiny Larry O'Brien trophy, which I think gives him the capacity to
You feel me?
penalize
18.
David Sampson.
You don't think that there's a road that he still has to go through?
No.
So, okay, I happen
If
to
he was eligible for the draft
guaranteed
today,
players.
Okay, you said make the NBA. Is he going to be a Hall of Famer? Maybe not. But is he going to make
Are
the
you
NBA?
wishing a catastrophic injury upon Cooper?
No,
Flagg?
I'm saying that premature celebration I've never been a big fan of.
You just said you wanted to celebrate
This-
everything all the time.
Exactly.
The whole thing is the celebration is not premature.
This is like Caitlin Clark's celebration going #1 to Indiana in February.
This is not a premature celebration. I'm celebrating how well he played in these games this weekend. It's shocking to me. You don't think it's impressive? The same way that yesterday you said it's not impressive that Joey Chestnut drank a gallon of milk in 13 seconds because it was 2% milk. You're trying to pretend like him cooking the best team ever assembled is not impressive. They lost by 1 point because AD got a block. It's impressive. He's 17 years old, Mr. Sampson. It's impressive.
You think they were firing on all cylinders, the Olympic team, like this was a NBA Finals type game?
Where's the penalty box
David
button?
Sampson is
Who
trying to
has
take
it?
Cooper Flagg's pension now.
That's a nice callback.
Let's just be happy for him. He's all right. I will indulge. I'm Chris. He's white. That's also pretty cool.
If you couldn't tell by the name Cooper Flagg,
I have a theory that I want to roll out to you
that
guys
he
a
was
little bit.
created in an algorithm for whitest names possible.
I think that Cooper Flagg is from Maine.
Of
I
course
think-
he is.
No way.
Celtics fan, by the way.
Shout out Celtics in Maine and Cooper Flagg. I think it's possible that Cooper Flagg would not be a great basketball player if he was born in a state that's not quite like Maine. Maybe the state that I'm from. If he was born in Maryland, that boy would have been a lacrosse player or a pitcher or something else. They'd have found him and said, "Oh, stop dribbling that thing. Get over here and see how this little white ball feels to you."
You think he doesn't play baseball?
That's a fair point. But he would not have been allowed to mature into the great basketball player that he is because of the inherent racism and the way that we scout athletes. The same reason why we don't got no white corners. There's a corner I've been on for a long time, pun not intended, that there are plenty of little white slot receivers that could play corner, but they don't get the chance because coaches are a little bit racist, as we all are a little bit racist.
But at 6'8", they're going to put him on a basketball court somewhere. You
They're
don't
gonna-
think?
I
But
think
would they let him handle the ball? Like the thing about Cooper Flagg is I want
Hold
Vanilla
on.
Snack. What?
okay, never mind. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say the reason why Cooper Flagg is the projected #1 overall pick in next year's draft, and the reason he would have been the #1 overall pick in this year's draft, is because he has one of these futuristic all-around skill sets.
Right.
That is a function of being able to handle the ball, shoot the ball, dunk the ball. I don't know how good he is defensively.
He's
Vanilla Snack,
a freak athlete. He's going to block so many shots in college next year.
but like White Wemby, that is the promise of Cooper Flagg.
More fluid Jason Tatum.
Yeah, he's
I'm
not as
about to
tall as
say
Wemby.
White Wemby was rich. Like, whoa. That's too far.
Yeah, he's not that
That's
tall.
the promise
But I think
of
Jason.
him.
Well, I mean, he's not going to turn it out to be 7'5". But yeah, I think Jason Tatum's probably more accurate. Seeing him next to Jason Tatum, he's about the same size already and has a lot of the same moves aside from the like 2-part jump shot.
Isn't it funny though that the kid is 7 feet tall and is like, that's a little small?
It's not. He's a little small. I said he was 6'10".
And he hasn't done anything yet.
We let you stay.
Do we have the David Sampson clip that I called for earlier?
I think that there shouldn't be a mental health month anymore.
What's the jurisdiction on his penalty box?
I know.
Can we send his ass over?
trying, man.
Seriously,
I think
Pablo. That's really what you're going to
I think
cut?
the tribe has spoken.
We've got a minor penalty for derailing.
Come on. Chop.
I'm going.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Nice legs, though, brother. Very nice legs.
Hey, Juju, thank you, man. I had forgotten that I had that authority. I appreciate it. So I dare you guys. Let's go through a list of greatest American white basketball players. I want to know where they all from because I don't think you're gonna find one from Atlanta. I don't think you're gonna find one from DC. It ain't happening. I'm telling you.
Where is Chet Holmgren from? 'Cause I think
Minnesota.
Boom. Give it to him.
that's pretty good.
All right.
Larry Bird, French Lick, Indiana.
Give it to him.
Jerry West, rural West Virginia.
Tell him snack. Tell him snack.
Kevin McHale, Minnesota.
Bop, 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 bop.
That's about it. Bill
Dirk
Walton.
Nowitzki, Germany.
Yeah, give it to him. What about Luka, Slovenia?
Tyler Hero.
Wisconsin.
Damn, this is a good theory.
Stockton, Spokane, Washington.
Woo!
Jokic, Serbia. Sorry,
Serbia?
I made it a Z.
Oh man, are you thinking about the
know
tennis
what I
guy,
did there. Yeah.
Zverev? Is that what you're thinking about?
That guy's a jerk.
Yeah, he is a jerk.
Did y'all see Sarek and Zubac get into it yesterday? I think Sarek got put in the dope fiend.
Can you explain
Yeah.
that fight for people who did not see that video out of, I believe, Greece? Was Greece where that happened?
Right. It looked like a Vegas-style club, but they got it. It started right into the action, so you just see him tussling with somebody. Then you pan over, and Sarek's just on the ground laid out until a nice brother let him up.
There it is. We got
Just
the
some
video.
giant whites tussling.
It's so long. I don't know how you cannot, like, how you can be a bad fighter at that size. Like, you got the reach, you got the strength and endurance, but I guess maybe you get outnumbered.
Not a lot of practice, too, because no one's going at you.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
Alex Caruso?
Oh, you're on this like a dog with a bone, huh?
I'm testing the sociology that we're proposing on this show?
They're probably
College Station, Texas.
Damn. Damn. He does that Aggie dance? Yeah, that's.
I mean, we have to. Now I feel like I want to go the other way. We have to find. There has to be
Who is the best white American player from the blackest place?
A major metropolitan area, I guess I would say.
Bob Cousy.
The Coos?
Your high school, Pablo, wasn't it?
No.
Oh, he's from Manhattan.
He's from Manhattan?
Yeah,
the Coos?
The Coos is from Manhattan. Chris Mullin, also a New York guy.
Chris Mullin. Yeah, Chris Mullin, if you listen to Chris Mullin, it does sound like he was the process of a cultural exchange very early, actually.
I think, Chris Mullin, that's impressive. Bob Cousy, I don't know. There might have been some other factors involved.
Cross College, Andrew Jackson High School.
Gotta respect the Coos, man.
The last white guy from Atlanta, Jim Fox. He was a 6'10" player from Atlanta, Georgia, and he went to high school in Barnesville, Georgia. Salute to Gordon College.
Wow.
Imagine what it was like to be Cooper Flagg in Maine growing up. I imagine that he was regarded like a god.
Yeah, have you seen Jesus Shuttlesworth visit Rick Fox's school in He Got Game?
Yeah.
And that's exactly what's happening.
Loving basketball on my T-shirt today.
But I do think Cooper Flagg, when he gets to the NBA, is going to be he is the answer to a question which has been plaguing the NBA from a marketing perspective for a really long time, which is where the hell did all of our white American boys go? Now they
Can we cut that clip?
God damn it.
I don't know that it's hurt the NBA from a marketing standpoint.
What?
I don't. I mean, I think.
How are you more optimistic about this than I am? I don't know
that
this has been a massive vacuum when it comes to how the NBA sells itself since Larry Bird.
Yeah, and I guess maybe that's why I don't see it as an issue, because I didn't grow up in a world where it mattered. As long as you had, and maybe there's different rules when it comes to xenophobic views of it, but as long as you had an American star that was doing incredible things.
Zerbian xenophobia.
Damn it. The American public would love it. So the heyday of the NBA, we think about Jordan, and there was not a real Stockton hive out there. There's just not something that we ever felt like we needed. And maybe with the globalization of basketball, we'll get to a point where we don't feel like we even need an American star to be fans of this game. But I don't think that there's an absence, or we feel an absence of a white American basketball star.
I think what we're going to get is not exactly by any means what Caitlin Clark has done for the WNBA, but I think it's going to be its own iteration of it, because I'm just far more bullish on the idea of I think the biggest counter-argument, Dominique, to why is Cooper Flagg not going to be a sensation fully realized as the white American star is simply because he is a giant. And I wonder if that's too tall actually in terms of relatability. But other than that, the dude is going to be this messianic figure for I think a lot of people in the way that Caitlin Clark was at a lighter level.
What if he's Sean Bradley?
Here we go. Where the button?
What?
I'm willing to bet you $1 American that he will not be Sean Bradley.
I think that so sometimes it's tough when we try to analogize different sports, because there's a lot of different contexts in it that I think matters a lot more. The WNBA size and also the history of the WNBA is very different than the NBA. It's going to be hard for Cooper Flagg to become the same type of figure, and he's not going to represent that same thing. So while I do recognize, and I'm sure that Chris is probably an example that could speak to this, or I could speak to it myself also, when you have someone who looks like you doing something in a sport or in any industry where there aren't many people like that. I became a Tiger Woods fan.
Great Asian American athlete, Tiger Woods.
Both of us. We can high five over that. I never watched the golf before that, but I became a fan. So I suspect that there will be some of that with Cooper Flagg, but I don't think it'll be nearly on the Caitlin Clark's level, and it won't be the main story. No one's going to care.
The main story. It will be the main story.
And then, yeah.
I think Caitlin Clark is obviously going to be an order of magnitude greater than Cooper Flagg. I just think when Chris says Zerbia, it reminds me of how it's remarkable that the foreign white guy does not read as one of them. them being Chris, I guess, broadly speaking. I think that's just
Make one mistake. I mean, jeez.
I think that's been a noted sociological phenomenon that there's a foreignness to the former to the Balkans and the Baltics. What are you chuckling about?
I think that there shouldn't be a mental health month anymore.
That's what's
That's
funny.
what I'm chuckling about. That is where we've gotten to from this entire morning. When Dominique starts, you understand that we're all off our game when we're looking at his sack in the 4 minutes leading up to the start of the show.
Speak for yourself.
Yeah, it's your choice. Your
Gets me
eyes,
ready.
Your eyes, your choice, buddy. Like,
I was trying to be protective of you.
Oh, my sack don't need protection. I'm good, baby. We're fine.
It for sure needs protection.
LeBron James said that Bronny does not give a F about the criticism. What do you guys think of that? Is that a malarkey or is it?
Would you know your son well enough to say that? I have a son, and I would not be willing to say what he is sensitive to and what he's not sensitive to.
I believe nobody resembles that description. The idea that he doesn't care about anything anyone says is not true of literally anybody that I've ever met, heard of, known, read about, experienced.
Except Bronny.
I think LeBron's doing a lot.
Yeah.
I think LeBron. What was actually most fascinating?
I would say it's unlikely. However, none of us can say that we've had the experience that Bronny has had. It's different. You probably feel differently about criticism if from the day you were born, your father and your family has been under a particular spotlight. So if it's possible, someone who was born in that darkness might be comfortable in that darkness more so than the rest of us. I think it's hugely unlikely, but that's the argument for it.
But it's also him speaking for Bronny yet again while saying Bronny's his own person.
I thought the most fascinating part about that quote was actually LeBron kind of admitting to something that lots of us who've covered LeBron or just been around sports media have known, which is that LeBron is the opposite. LeBron basically said in that same quote, I'm somebody who does listen. I'm somebody who does care what people say. When I was coming up, to Dominique's point, as the first of his kind, he was litigating with the press, was managing his reputation from the very beginning.
He was the next of his kind. I don't like that we always say this is the first of his kind.
No, because I think it's the internet era that is the thing that certainly separates, and the sports TV 24/7 aspect of it, David, that separates Michael from LeBron. And I think the question then is, like, how different is the world that Bronny has entered from a media perspective than the world that LeBron entered and dominated?
He was on the cover of your magazine. I think it was under the Chosen one when he was, how old was he, 16?
For those who don't know LeBron James, he was Cooper Flagg before Cooper Flagg.
He was a black Cooper Flagg.
What kind of flag?
You're telling me that Cooper Flagg is the next. This is what the scouting report is? All right, I guess I'm wrong. He's the next LeBron James.
He's not the next LeBron James, but he's been kind of picked as the obvious number one for a number of years now. He's a guy that's good enough to tank for. Like, he's going to be really good.
There's tanking for Cooper happening.
Yes.
Yeah.
For sure.
All right. Even though you can't tank for the number one pick anymore.
Poop for Coop.
You can poop for Coop. You can get a higher percentage. Like,
That's
obviously.
it.
Yeah. Which is still
He's probably a Durant or Anthony Davis level prospect going into college basketball as an earnest take of how good he is.
I just think that Bronny James grows up. He chooses to play basketball. He's good at it. He's a college player. He's drafted. He understands the business of pressure. I just think that he doesn't want his father to talk to him for him anymore. And I noticed it during the opening press conference. I noticed it again yesterday. At some point, you say to your dad, all right, I got this now.
Agreed. He's not at that point yet. I mean, I don't think that there will come a point when I think everyone has to kind of fully be their own man. And for most kids, it's not after their freshman year of college. So, like, get off of everybody's back, Samson.
But isn't LeBron just making it worse by continuing to make this a story? Like, just stop talking about Bronny and people will forget about it, the way the news cycle works.
You should just say what David Sampson said.
I think that there shouldn't be a mental health month anymore.
Impeccable.
got a little surprise from my man Pablo.
Where the hell did all of our white American boys go?
I'll tell you. They're in the quarters of Wimbledon.
Wow, what a professional segue as Kravitz and Dominique celebrate.
So we got two guys in the quarterfinals. One of them feels like right now kind of a bit of my man Tommy Paul. I got to be honest with you. I'm a big Carlos Alcaraz fan. He might be one of the most explosive athletes I've seen who's not playing defensive back in the NFL. He's incredible. He's going up against Tommy Paul, and Tommy Paul's an American, and I have to kind of pretend like I want Tommy to win because he's an American. But honestly, at 9:15 or 10 o'clock, whenever this match actually starts, I'm in on Big Los. King Los going to give him the business.
Do you feel that you're not being patriotic if you don't root for the American in that case? I never thought that way. Aren't you rooting if you like Alcaraz, you should want him to win?
I do. That's what I just said.
I was wondering that too, and is there a difference in the Olympics, for example? Like, if you're rooting against America in the Olympics, is that unpatriotic? Yes. Like, is that where the line is? Like, I can root against American athletes in other competitions, but if it's the Olympics, I need to root for my country no matter what. Also, why does Puerto Rico have a team?
Whoa. Put it right there with the Samson quotes. You are on Team Samson.
Damn.
It's a territory.
It's a territory.
But I mean.
So I believe from an Olympic standpoint, the Olympics were a really big thing during the Cold War when you really felt, you want America to win everything because it was an FU to the CCCP. That's that USSR. But now I think it's much less so. I think now that the Cold War is gone for all intents and purposes, I feel less guilty during the Olympics. I wouldn't find it outrageous to root for Giannis if I were a Milwaukeean, which I am, and root for Greece to beat the U.S. in basketball.
I root against Berhalter and them boys. Like, I heard Mike talking. I was like, yeah, I hope they lose to get him up out of here.
Is there
Berhalter or Mike?
It's not Mike. I love you, Mike, wherever you are. You have my heart.
Is there anything that can happen to make you root for? Because I got to be honest, when Usain Bolt was out there riding, I kind of wanted him to break the records. I kind of wanted him to win. I kind of wanted him to keep being awesome. So, you weren't rooting for Usain Bolt? Or you didn't feel you were rooting for patriotism?
I don't feel it. I was rooting for patriotism.
So you wanted him to lose. You wanted him not to break the world record. You wanted somebody else to get it.
No. I actually didn't think of it in those terms. I'd like seeing records broken for sure.
But this is the most American position, to be so secure in yourself as a country that you don't care about the Olympics in the way these other countries do.
Used to.
No, but that's what I'm saying is that when you talk about, yes, in the Cold War, Russia, the former Soviet Union, cared so deeply about all of this, expressing greatness through sports, that it was your primary way of expressing dominance against your aspirational rivals, the countries you wanted to be on the same level as, such as the United States.
I mean, it still matters. It's like when the Olympics were in China and when the Olympics were in Russia, they made a great point to try to build up these teams.
Yes.
Their entire governments, in many cases, are complicit in doping scandals because they believe that sports and some personal value and affinity for your country, it's very much matters
more to them than America.
It's happening now. I mean, look. So to Dominique's point, if you didn't see Icarus, the Netflix documentary,
watch it.
Yeah, state-sponsored doping scandal resulted in Russia being ousted and then re-entered underneath what was it called? The Russian
with no flag.
The Russian Olympic team or committee.
It's
Russian
insane.
Olympic. The episode side note, but related directly to the episode we just did today on Pablo Torre Finds Out, is about how the most corrupt sport is fencing, and fencing has been corrupted by a Russian oligarch. In the present tense. One of the 100
Did they do steroids? I didn't watch your episode yet.
It's about a refereeing crisis in which half of the top 20 referees in the world, allegedly, in saber fencing have been corrupted and flip matches according to bribery and favors and geopolitical incentives, which is all to say that this stuff is so real right now to lots of other places that when it trickles into America, it's kind of like, whoa.
I mean, Michael Phelps spoke to Congress about the doping
in China.
Yeah, the Chinese doping scandal with their swimmers. So it's something that matters to a lot of different countries. But I guess this is an admission that I don't have to make. But I guess I assume that other people had this feeling also. But I think kind of depends on what you identify as first. But when I was a kid and I was watching the Olympics, I was rooting for the black folk. If America didn't have a black dude, I was rooting for the black dude. And it wasn't like 6, 7, 8 years old. I remember like at that age watching sports and was like, hey, root for the black dude.
Were you the exact age of Cool Runnings of the Jamaican bobsled team?
The movie.
Not the actual. Am I off on years? Is that really
No,
a long time ago?
In David's defense, this was, I don't know when it happened in reality, but certainly the movie was 93, and I was 8 at the time.
I mean, this does tie into the Cooper Flagg conversation, and it is about identity, and it is about some level of personal pride, and you see yourself in the athletes that are out there. And as we watched, like, the Euros specifically is, like, mind-blowing to me.
It's so funny to see
go
this.
ahead.
No, just because every empire, France, Spain, like England,
yeah.
the players that are now the stars of those teams are the colonized products of empire. And it's just funny that you can, anyway, it's very complicated for that reason. There are lots of teams, by the way. The Philippines World Cup women's soccer team was assembled basically in America because there weren't enough good, like, native Filipino women. And so they assembled all of these part Filipina people from around the world, and it got to be a successful experiment. And then, most recently this year, disbanded because it wasn't actually enough of the country in the minds of the people in the country. Yeah. Because this is the dynamic of, like, is this really us, is the question, I think, underneath all of it.
I mean, that's interesting to me that they disbanded it because there was some pushback, because my assumption is if you're winning, you don't care.
I was furious.
Yeah, like most people are like, well, they can represent us as long as they make their penalties. As soon as they miss them penalties, they are all the slurs, right?
Because we're all just after the win. It doesn't really matter. The World Baseball Classic, they put the Team Israel together. You know, if you're anywhere Jewish, anywhere, or you can be on the Italian team if you've gone to Carbone. You can be on team at Italy for the World Baseball Classic. And so it's done for the purpose of putting the best team possible together, which I think is how it should always be.
Also, why does Puerto Rico have a team? I mean,
let me get Tony Perez on the phone and see if he has a view of that.
Tony Perez is Cuban.
He would not view himself that way. I think I've asked Tony that. I think he would say he's Puerto Rican.
Carbone is an Italian restaurant that we went to dinner at last night, and it is like a caricature. So it's delicious. It's incredible. When I go to New York, I go there all the time. I've been with Charlie. I go with my wife. I go by myself, and we went last night to the Carbone in Miami. The food is delicious, but when you walk in, they got like a playlist, and it's just like 3 songs on repeat that were in Goodfellas. It's outstanding.
I thought I was going to get whacked, actually. I had not been there in Miami, and I didn't like how I felt. I felt like I needed to sit, so I chose, if you'll notice, where I sat at the table.
So David will enter a restaurant, not just the one that is playing Mafia cosplay, and he will choose the seat that is most defended if he were to suffer an assassination attempt.
It's just I need the ability to escape. I need the ability. I can't.
It's not a joke.
No, this is...
Me and David are the same person on a lot of fronts, except a lot of fronts.
Who's coming after you?
I mean,
like, who do we think is going to murder?
Did you listen to the show yesterday?
Yeah. Of all the people at the dinner, I would say most killable.
Most killable.
This is a Greg Cody move, too, of like he always likes, I don't know if it's like escape, but it's like I need to see. He always wants to have his back. Like, he wants to be facing the entrance. So, like, wherever the front door is, I need to be looking that way. So me and my family, what we do is we try to get there first, so he has only the seat not facing. That's like
and you don't show him the respect.
No, we do. It's like a fun game to
like.
It's a fun game to go to the seats, have him be like, "Oh, can I?" And then we make him feel bad. It's just a fun game.
I don't worry about being actually assassinated.
Oh.
I feel trapped all the time in my life, and I like the ability to see everything that's happening, so I can see all escape routes, and I can plan what can be my next move. So, like sitting inside a booth. Like at a coffee shop where there's a 4-person booth, you'd never see me on the inside of that booth. How do you get out?
So you're an aisle seat guy? You're a private jet guy.
Do I have priority check-in?
No. You're an aisle seat guy?
Yes.
He said
if I'm flying with somebody, I'll sit on the window.
You're PJ bro?
He also is, yes.
I don't know what you mean.
Flying private. PJ.
No.
Why is
I have
so much judgment on the PJ?
He's worried about the carbon footprint.
no, not at all.
Oh, okay, good. Glad we cleared
Carbon
that up.
problems from cows than private jets.
I have a question for you guys about
Sounds
the
like a real
Olympics.
PJ guy statement, but
Yeah.
we move on.
So, did you guys see that the Olympics, like I guess in like the athlete village or whatever, they weren't air conditioned because they were worried about the emissions. And then Team USA is like, nah, we're gonna take our own AC units anyways.
Smart.
Yeah.
I think so that feels like something that is like performative, like
It's a Europe thing. There's not a lot of air conditioning in Europe.
What's the deal with what's the deal?
They don't care.
They do not care.
They keep the
about
windows
air
open.
conditioning.
There are people in Europe that if they have air, they put it on just at night for a few hours, but they're happy at 81, 82 Fahrenheit.
My father-in-law must be from Europe.
can I?
Man, you go over that house. It's just I always give my wife the look. Turn that thing down.
Is he from Serbia?
You.
The Balkans.
I started last night's dinner pretty annoyed with Pablo.
Yeah, you're welcome, by the way.
Oh yeah. So first of all, as anyone who knows Pablo and our relationship knows that Pablo has a history of not paying when we go do anything. He paid last night, so I'm proud of you. Thank you so much.
Dan paid.
All jokes aside. Oh, you charged it to the game?
Yes.
I have not.
Don't charge it to
Yeah,
the game.
His
man.
eyebrows went up when you said that. Like Pablo's gonna charge it.
You have it wrong.
Don't charge it to the game, baby.
I have not done anything.
He is 100%
I'll
expensing
have
that
you
meal.
know. Hey, John.
Triple E slanderer.
John, no business was done last night. Let him know, Skippy.
So much business. was
So
done
much
last
business was
I
done.
do believe, my treat. I do believe I will pay for that.
Well, in that case, let me tell you what Pablo, and I'll let you guys be the judge of this
night.
situation.
The menus were so large, like
Don't
the
change the
largest
subject.
menus in the world.
So you're admitting that you were wrong.
No, I'm admitting that it was a very nice
Cheesecake
thing
Factory
to go to this.
level?
I mean, literally, like
Bigger.
the size of the menu.
No,
Love
they're
that
bigger.
reference. Bigger.
It was like opening up a poster board.
Thinner. It's only 2 pages.
Because
Cheesecake.
cheesecake's actually not that big, but it's
Yeah,
just
it's
58
a
Very
book.
thick. It's
Yeah.
too much.
So this is what happened.
Hate that.
Yesterday after the show, which again, Pablo, you did a great job hosting. Sullivan, incredible job finding the guests. The video team, outstanding. Like yesterday, I thought was a really good show, especially for the first time we were all together.
We agreed to do a back alley milk chug
We did.
with Nick Cirillo, who David Sampson fired and took his pension away.
After the show, you're not going to derail me from this. After the show, we Pablo said, you want to go to dinner later? And Charlie and I are like, sure. And Pablo said, I got a lot of work to do, and pointed to Charlie and asked Charlie to make reservations. Charlie said, okay. So Charlie and I went to lunch, and during the lunch, Charlie was looking on Resi, and Charlie and I were talking. You know, Pablo is kind of a restaurant snob, so he actually put a good deal of effort showing me restaurants. You think Pablo like this, you think like this, before he finally selected a restaurant. And so we get back, it's around 4:30, 5 o'clock, and Charlie sends a message to the group chat with the Resi reservation at a very fine restaurant.
To which I just responded, okay.
And I did too.
Yes, you did.
And
It
Pablo,
was okay. It was
Nope,
totally
not
okay.
to you.
and Pablo,
Totally okay.
30 minutes later, said, I just texted my friend, see if we can get us a table at Carbone.
That's not
He didn't
exactly
say that.
what happened.
That's not exactly what happened.
It's
He
in the
actually
text.
said, if you check it, because he didn't mention the name of the restaurant.
Okay.
What he said is, I may have a connect to a better restaurant. Would you be open to
Not
that?
what I said either.
What a lame look at me, Louis whack maneuver.
The maneuver was
To call it a connect too is
I-
very wild.
none of this happened.
It all
Nasty
happened.
work.
If
None
only
of
this was
happened.
documented.
In the
It
text.
is documented, and I'm happy to read it.
Don't make me
And you
scroll.
know you have it too.
Don't make me
So
scroll.
not to interject too much, but I would like to add that when Pablo assigned the restaurant picking, me and Dominique both were like, "Are you sure?
Yes.
You're going to be the one who actually wants to pick the restaurant." And
That-
you're like, "I am too busy. I have grandiose plans recording
I mean,
PTFO."
Charlie and I have, and David too, I think we got real like husband type energy where it's like, I ain't gonna fight over that. Where we going? Cool. I'm down. Here's the credit card. Let's eat. Pablo? Not as much husband
Very
energy.
high maintenance.
Yeah.
There's always one in a group.
Yeah.
I don't see-
Which is
I don't
fine.
see
Which is
husbandry.
fine. If you want to be that person, then pick the gosh darn restaurant. And don't have my man stressing trying to make sure that he can accommodate you, and then
You know
wait,
what?
and then wait because you had texted your boy before that. Your connect. As soon as you text
Why
your
are we
connect,
putting scare quotes around a word I never said? I would
soon-
never say that.
As soon as you text your connect, you text us, hey, working on a reservation. My bad. Charlie, you off the hook.
I need
That's
the
it.
exact phrasing.
I
on
asked,
the Connect.
this is quote, I asked a friend about a reservation at a good restaurant.
A connect.
Damn
If
close
that
to
comes
what I
through,
said.
there's no penalty to cancel this other restaurant, right?
There is a penalty.
See, just say let's cancel it. That's the part that's annoying there. Of like, you guys cool if we change? It's like
I didn't have the reservation yet.
That's not the
guys.
part. That is annoying.
It may turn out to be nothing, to be honest. This reservation helps immensely. Thank you, Charlie.
I'm trying to manage the feelings of these quote-unquote husbands.
So ridiculous.
Do you know why Dominique's actually mad?
Because Pablo was late?
No, he's going to Carbone again on Wednesday.
Exactly.
Oh, he did say
He's getting
that.
double boned.
He's getting double boned, and he had white pants on. He was afraid of
just a road trip.
soiling his white pants with expensive-ass Italian meatballs, which were delicious.
You didn't even order the meatballs. Again, speaking of your lack of husband energy, Pablo arranged this so we get to the table.
I did kind of panic at the ordering
It's
stage.
family style. So like, all right, and Pablo, you arranged this. So pick out what we gonna get. Set it up,
You
Pablo.
guys like family style? It was very stressful. It
And
was
so
very
Pablo
stressful.
goes to the restaurant. He orders a bunch of stuff. No damn meatballs. Top 3 things on the Carbone menu is the meatballs. And I said, excuse me, miss, could you go ahead and put a little meatballs on there? Because I don't want these. They came here. Some people never been here. They may never come back. They don't need some meatballs.
If anybody wants some lasagna verde, I have like 3 pounds of it in my fridge, by the way.
You took the leftovers?
I'm a Golden Corral guy myself.
Yeah, me too, brother.
I thought the experience was delightful, other than the fact that Pablo was late.
My pre-dinner was at Bubba Gump Shrimp.
It was late.
Pablo was late.
You guys late. You're all staying in the same place, aren't you? Why
I
don't
got
you go
downstairs
together?
Claimed
at
elevator.
6:57 p.m. and it was 6:55 as appointed.
I got down
That's
there
late.
at 6:50. Samson got down there at 6:53. Charlie got down there at 6:55. You after that.
And Chris after that, might I add.
No respect.
Who works for you.
My producer,
No
Chris.
respect. And Chris's
You guys was at
defense.
table for 5.
I didn't even know I went.
It wasn't. It was a PTFO. You may not know. One of the
No, I do. I
29
was kidding.
people who work for Pablo.
Billy wouldn't have enjoyed it. We talked a lot about Puerto Rico belonging in the Olympics.
I didn't say they didn't belong, but
We actually had a few interesting conversations, one of which was about sports unions, where I was ready to fight David, as I always am, and then he agreed with me.
This
And
was
it
the most shocking thing of the entire evening.
They
was
agreed?
An in-depth discussion about unions in sports between David Sampson and Dominique Foxworth that ended up being a startling amount of harmony and agreement.
I was thinking how upset Dan would have been at that dinner, because all he wants is for us to disagree and for there to be issues and problems and everybody fighting in the chaos of it. But the best part about having an intellectual discourse is sometimes you just lay down your king and say, that is a great point. I'm going to think of it that way. You're right. And everybody should do that during conversations. And you don't often do that on the air. But at the restaurant, we both did that.
Oh, no, I ain't laying nothing down. I won. I won at dinner. I won on the air yesterday. Name a time when I was wrong. I didn't lay down. The king was still standing. I'll have you know.
Can I help explain why you guys actually agreed on stuff, though?
I'm still waiting for somebody to tell me the time I was wrong in a conversation with David Sampson. It's never happened.
Never.
Not once.
You're always right.
I called Jessica Lucy yesterday, but it's not here today.
I said in a conversation with David Sampson, I apologize, Jessica Lucy.
I like that you're repping that, Juju. Like you're taking care that we don't possibly sully them.
I like that you're repping the word repping.
I don't. You were explaining something?
So the thing about unions, to both Dominique and David, is, and I don't want to step on the points that you guys want to make here, but it's that the actual key to getting what you want inside of one of these boardrooms where owners are negotiating with players is the mutual recognition that a union actually isn't the best way to accomplish the goals that the players especially might actually have.
I think the point that I was making is that there's a fundamental power asymmetry that is almost impossible to address. Like if you look at the value of 1 percentage point of revenue for the owners, it equates to a larger sum of money over into perpetuity. They hand the teams out to their kids. For the players, it equates to tens of thousands of dollars per player, but which most likely will be eaten up by the most popular players. So, like, if you're arguing that we need to go on strike in order to get what we want, actually, the players who go on strike will not get what they want. Whereas, like, other unions, police officers union, Teamsters, you may be in that job for 20, 30 years. So the sacrifice that you would make in order to get a larger piece of the pie may over time build up to be worth it. And that's the fundamental. Our biggest weapon actually is not a nuclear weapon in the way that we want it to seem, whereas for them it actually is. And then you compound that by the fact that they have influence in media, and players and owners are both, I think, sensitive to how they're viewed by the fans, but the owners don't get the direct ire from the fans in the way that players do, because one part of that, I would say, is because a lot of people don't know the owners, and the second part of it is American people, frankly, they respect the owners and what the owners have accomplished more than they do the players.
I've seen some owners get some pretty bad press. So, but I would say that you have one problem. As owners get younger, the gulf is going to get even bigger because their time horizons are even longer. When you've got octogenarian owners who have not won a title, they don't want to shut the game down because they don't want to waste another year without a World Series or without an NBA championship. Right. But you're seeing turnover in ownership ranks, and I think that's going to even unbalance the power even more.
And I think also with a lot of the valuations of the teams going up so high, the people who are getting into ownership are collections of people who actually want to make money, which is different than older owners who are in this to win championships. And then
it's a different basis.
Right. I mean, it's a different reason for owning the team. So then the CBA negotiations becomes about making my investment worthwhile, which is different than – so there's a different amount of leverage if you don't care about the thing that I care about as much as I care about.
Well, you're seeing it now because private equity, that's the biggest thing going on right now. With private equity being invested into sports teams, they do not care about anything but ROI. Right. And they can pretend they do in the press conference, but no, the way they make their money, is by making money.
So the question I have then is, what is the actual leverage? What's the most leverage? What is the actual nuclear option for a union, Dominique, when you enter a negotiation against the David Sampsons of sports?
Well, the nuclear option is something that's incredibly risky for both sides. It's to decertify the union.
And that would
to disband the union and become association. And that would then expose the league to antitrust laws. Because right now they can exist as a legal cartel because we're protected by a union. All the teams can cooperate. If you disband it, which is how we got free agency in football, is what a lot of people don't know, that the settlement, a part of the settlement was that the NFL required that we reconvene as a union, because that gives them the protection to not expose themselves to treble damages. But the problem is, then you open it up to the legal system, and depends on what judge you get, they might then decide that you're still in the wrong. So it's a real tough place to be in for a union.
You'd have a hard time arguing that the NFL players would be better off not in a union today. Back then, I absolutely understand why that path happened, but the antitrust, as we saw with the lawsuit going on with the NFL right now over Sunday Ticket, that was really over the antitrust exemption as it relates to broadcasting. And the argument was, is that exemption for over the air? Does it apply to these streaming services? So that is a bigger legal issue that the owners are dealing with, and that impacts players because of the way you share revenue.
Man, what an obnoxious dinner this was last night.
It was something. It wasn't obnoxious. It was.
I loved it.
Here's how I'll fix everything.
It was kind of that, actually. We all sort of said, like, as the greatest representative of the class of people that we work inside of, what would we do? And David Sampson, if a union were to decertify, disband, and then enter that process, what would the response be from owners, briefly?
Very briefly, what owners would simply say is, we're going to not do we don't need to do a CBA. Right. We don't need to protect any of the majority of the union, which is the union's meant to protect the bottom. Right. So we're going to just let the bottom people, we're going to let them disappear, and we're only going to deal with the elite. It's a dream, actually.
Yeah, there will be no floor, there'll be no salary cap, there'll be no draft, all the illegal things that you do, there'll be no revenue sharing. So I think that a lot of the smaller market teams would be pissed, the big market teams would be happier.
And then they would declare this.
I think that there shouldn't be a mental health month anymore.
The entire dinner wasn't pretentious. We had some other fun
Talked about
conversation.
fatherhood.
We did talk about fatherhood.
Mistakes that we all have made. Mistakes that we'll probably make.
Yeah. Relationships and
Yeah.
going forward, mistakes made there. I would like to say one last thing about our pretentious conversation.
I'm shocked that you want the last word against David Sampson.
Not against. Why are they trying to pit us against each other, man?
Well, you do that.
Huh? No, I don't.
You don't need Pablo's help.
I don't do it. I just feel like sometimes you say things that have to be refuted aggressively.
What do you want to refute?
Yes, Dominique.
Nothing. It's nothing that. Good job. You learned from yesterday. I don't want to refute anything. I think that the way that you set up the question about to allow me to get into decertification, I think, was perfect. But I would say that I want to make it clear that I think it's an incredibly risky maneuver. It's something I've been talking about for probably close to a decade now.
It was just a radical take that if I'm given control of the union, I'm going to disband this union.
It was, I mean, it's, yeah. And I think it probably is still, you're at a disadvantage. And also, like, to the point you were making, and I think this could lead us into a conversation about the Sunday ticket suit, is that not only do the players benefit from the protections that the union provide, including a salary floor and benefits and all those sorts of things, but they benefit from the fact that the league is allowed to behave as a cartel in the marketplace, and they can function as one unit in order to do things like sell TV rights, which raises the revenue, which increases the players' salaries. But life is pretty good for a lot of players in professional sports. It's good enough that I think not many of them are interested in taking the risk that they would have to take.
I think it's only good for a few. So I'm interested in you obviously are way more involved in the NFL union. Do you believe that your union is truly represented? The majority of people, I would assume, are at the bottom and don't ever get rich playing football.
Agreed. So, I think that you're probably right. It's best for the people at the top. The problem is the people at the bottom, the way that, again, and this is very strategic of leagues in general, by creating a max or a minimum salary that changes based on how many years you spent in the league, you force out the guys who aren't great. and you get guys back in the league for 3 more years who will only be in the league for 3 more years. So they do not have the level of cachet or buy-in to be willing to sacrifice enough to get the gains that they need. The people who are in the league long enough and in the union long enough have signed big contracts. And those are the guys who are like, hey, let's blow this all up to fix it for these other guys that we barely even know. Hell no. It's just it speaks to the power dynamics, which are all based on the time horizon in CBA negotiations.
Well, what you're saying there is that because there's a minimum amount of time that you need to have been in the league, employed, to qualify for something like a pension and be vested, you have owners, GMs that are cutting people loose before that if they're not actually worth the extra cost that getting them to the program.
Not exactly,
but
but
say that at all.
Yeah, not exactly. I think the point that I'm making is that in order to, so no one grows up saying, I can't wait to get in the union so I can participate in a CBA negotiation fight or a labor stoppage. They want to get to the NFL to play. So it takes more than 3 to 5 years for guys to understand, whoa, we're not getting a fair shake. And by that time, if you're still in the league, you have like graduated from the group that is getting the short end of the stick to the group that is making enough money that I don't want to create waves. So it's hard to galvanize an entire group when the way that the CBA is structured, there's a divide right down the middle, or not even down the middle. There's a 25, there's 25% of the league that's getting caked up. Then everyone else is in and out, a revolving door. I can see Chris falling asleep.
All I'm missing right now is a little spicy rigatoni. And then a little nap right around the corner.
I got a little pick-me-up. Billy Gill.
Me?
What's good?
What's good? All my friends are here today.
Nice. Dominique, what's good?
I'm undefeated in debates versus David Sampson.
Charlie Kravitz swears that dinner was more interesting than this.
We
Like,
talked
he
about this
told
for
us.
5 minutes.
I was like,
it was
yeah.
mostly drinking, eating pasta,
Yeah, it was.
hanging out.
I asked him, I goes, this is all dinner yesterday? He's like, this lasted like 5 minutes yesterday. Everyone else, the rest of it was
We
really
got to this conversation because I was telling him that one of the biggest mistakes that I felt that I made at the basketball union was just hubris, frankly.
Dominic, they don't want to hear your stories behind the closed doors of how rich people in sports actually operate. They're too sleepy for that, apparently.
Did I tell you about the time LeBron James yelled at me?
It's a great story.
Was Bronny there?
Listening?
You want to hear.
We were at Summer League, and so there are rep meetings, and LeBron was on the executive committee, and I was in like the upper management of the union for the basketball team, or for the basketball league.
You were the COO.
Yeah, and so we had a meeting with just them, and it was like Steph, LeBron, Steve Blake was on it, like guys like that were.
Where's Steve Blake from?
Steph, LeBron, Steve
Look at me,
Blake.
Louis Button. Steph LeBron. You're going through like all these people you met with?
Yeah. So anyway, we're in the meeting, and LeBron really wanted to address lifetime medical for players when they retire,
And make sure Bronny was covered.
and I said that we should make sure that the league pays for that, and LeBron was like, no. We'll ask them to pay for it. If they don't pay for it, we'll pay for it. And I was like, well, we're in negotiations, sir. So how about we not just
Mr.
go...
King James,
yeah,
sir?
I mean, I was younger and more arrogant, and so I wasn't like...
More arrogant.
Yeah, more than now. Yeah, I wasn't as deferential as I guess he expected. So he put his foot down and essentially like, no, we are paying. And it's like, it's an incredibly noble point. And it's like, I have no leg to stand on. You're LeBron James. You're also right. And I'm just a new guy who is 5'11".
So how fast did you give up?
I pushed back twice, and then he yelled, and I was like, yep, we're done.
But you guys were on the same side.
Yeah,
It's
not in
music
that
to
argument.
my ears. When
What?
you want the infighting like that.
It wasn't fighting. It was
You're coming up with your positions, though.
right. Yeah. You guys don't have infighting? Obviously,
Yeah, a
everyone
ton
has
of it.
infighting. Yeah, obviously.
But having LeBron James try to give a position instead of you, it means he's not letting. It would be as though you want to be the guard. You want to play. He hired you to do a job
No.
and then didn't let you do it.
It also seems weird that like you were trying to get more for him, and he was like, "No, I want less, please."
No, I think that it was, from his perspective, it was something too important to leave up to us trying to negotiate it, which I respect. He was
don't.
willing to.
It's your job.
Yeah,
Sullivan, get
and I
LeBron.
think
You're
this
smarter
is
than he
this
is.
is I'm not
News alert.
I'm not, and this is where I disagree, and this is where a lot of the problems came at my time with the union was like, is this arrogance that I'm here to run this union when in actuality you are there to enact the will of the players. They own the union. The union's plan is not going to be effective unless everyone, the most important people, buy in, which are the players. And if I say, LeBron James, shut up, I'm smarter than you, this is the way we do it, if he doesn't believe in it, the players won't believe in it. And then we have no leverage.
You have to sell your intelligence better, because you're bringing up what happens in negotiations when you guys negotiate with your employer, when you negotiate your own contract.
Go on.
You don't know best about what you should be getting from management. You are a great example, Pablo. During your contract negotiation, it was like amateur hour. But that's not your job. You're a Harvard-educated PTFO guy, but certainly you were not equipped to negotiate your own contract.
I think
You
that's
just revealed a lot.
I think that's an insult.
I don't know what happened there.
You know what's good when you're on the plane and then no one, like you run a window seat and the aisle seat guy is here already and nobody comes for the middle seat the whole plane ride,
The
elbows
best.
everywhere.
The
That is
best.
good.
That's good.
That is good.
You give a little fist bump to the guy, like in the eye. It's
We
like, hey,
made
no
it.
one's here.
Look at us, Joe.
You can pretend that you're the nicest guy in the room, but do you, when they're walking back and you've got the middle seat open, are you giving like dirty looks? Like
Are you
you
talking about,
better
like, on
not
Southwest?
be sitting there,
Right.
No, you
or
just
when
you
it's
widen up. You just
or
get
when
fat.
it's a
You just,
big
like,
person.
slop.
It's like when Forrest Gump was trying to find him his bus seat. Can't sit here.
You smell your armpit and then make a
Tight,
face.
Dan.
You like make a face. You're like,
So one of the tricks you can use, and it totally works, especially post-COVID, it's the cough trick. It is
Is that what you've been doing
fans-
the entire week?
That's similar to the
it.
smell the armpit thing.
I don't get the smelly armpit.
It's just like you're checking yourself and you,
It's to
and
say
you
you
make
smell.
a
oh,
face.
it's to say
like, "Oh, I
that
don't
you
smell good."
smell.
On Amtrak, as Dominique knows.
It's funny.
Assigned seats now.
What?
Yeah.
No, but you ride first class on the Acela.
No. So when COVID hit, they started assigning seats. The Acela used to be
The whole Acela
find
is
your own
assigned.
seat. Yeah, but now it's assigned seat. But I do remember.
I know what an Acela is, but for Billy,
So from D.C. to New York, there's a slightly faster train, still slower than the fastest trains in the world because of politics and money. But
like our Bright Line, we have Bright Line.
yeah,
down here.
so it
doesn't
goes
kill as many people though.
right.
It goes from
were
D.C.
gonna be a sponsor.
to New York and stops
And
a bunch
Boston.
of different places.
It goes
Oh,
all
yeah, I
the way
mean,
to
yeah, it goes
Boston.
all the way to Boston, but it stops at like Delaware. And so if you are on the East Coast and you're going up to New York a lot, you take it a lot. I learned that I had jumped the shark on pre-COVID on the Acela because I always wear a hoodie and I always am black. So people choose not to sit next to me. And then there came a time when a little old lady got on the train and there were a bunch of open seats and she sat right next to me with my hoodie on. It's pulled down. I'm looking as intimidating as I possibly can look. And I realized I'm cooked.
You realize that this lady is celebrating Black History Month every month?
No, she not. She just didn't see me as a threat. Now my feelings were hurt. It's like it's one of the few benefits. One of the few benefits. One of the few
Where the hell
benefits
do-
is nobody wants to be around me. But why do you want to sit next to me, lady? Go sit over there.
Where
That
the
guy
hell
has on a
did all
suit.
of our white American boys go? Good EP.
Worked out
Chris.
better in my head.
That's on me.
Did
That's
you
on me.
say anything to her?
No. I mean, I talked
Did
to her on
you-
the trip. Yeah.
Oh, so you did. So
Yeah,
you
when she
eventually-
sat down, I was like, you got me.
Oh, that's
Got me.
awesome.
Talk union.
Put her to sleep. So anyway, that is a trick that you can use. You don't have to leave it up in the air. So I would just think about that. When
I use
you're
a tuna
going forward.
sandwich.
No, but then that impacts you.
I love
too.
tuna sandwiches.
The smell of tuna sandwiches on a plane.
I love
I
tuna.
think that's wrong when people do that.
Yeah, agreed.
I love tuna too.
You
So
love the
good.
smell of tuna sandwiches.
I don't
on the
say I
plane?
love the smell of it, but I do. He just said I love tuna, and I agree with him.
17
Chris.
Americas.
That is what?
Wait, David, in your current state, if you saw someone with a tuna sandwich not being able to smell it, would you be like, I'm going to ruin this person's day and take the seat next to him?
So I would not sit next to that person.
Just sit down and be like, got extra?
Having nothing to do with the smell, I'd be worried about crumbs. I'd be worried about sort of mess.
Hold on.
But it's not the smell. So the smell, I can walk through New York City like a champion now. It doesn't impact me at all.
Last night, we went to one of the most delicious restaurants in the country.
He said it smelled good. Did you catch him? Did he say it?
Stevie Wonder situation?
Yeah.
I said it smelled good.
No. I caught you
did I
say
say that?
I didn't realize it, but looking back, you ate that crouton and you said,
And I said the
You said,
crouton's amazing. Yes, it was.
You can taste. You've been lying, Stevie.
I'm lying. It's true.
Got his
I have
ass.
full taste because of the crouton.
We got him.
Take it back. You finally got me.
It's been lying for
The
attention.
crouton was slick and crisp and buttery, and it was. I never tasted a crouton like that.
But you tasted it last night,
Yes.
so you can taste.
I don't know that I tasted it the way you tasted it. I don't know that it had the flavor that you had the flavor of, but it felt amazing.
You sound like a celebrity that's like a guest judge on a cooking show. Like where you're trying to hang with like the guys that know like the cooking, like this tastes slick and crunchy and
buttery.
This is delicious. Because like I've always envied those celebrities that go on
Their
those shows. And I'm like,
words.
how do they know so much? It's like, oh no, they're just saying words.
I've never heard a crouton described as slick though.
Yeah, that was.
All right, what kind of
It
slick?
was sort of.
Bags of sand.
It wasn't slick.
Hell yeah.
What?
It was a great crouton.
It was.
Eating without taste is like putting a boob job on a corpse. Got his ass.
Breast enhancements. Is
Can
what
Can we
it is.
isolate that sound, please? Thank you.
I like when we have different EPs and you learn their moves. I like that Chris's move is I'm just gonna sit around and wait for somebody to say something funny. Clip that, baby, clip that.
Well, I
Breast
guess he's
enhancements.
trying to make everyone forget Zerbia.
So
So he's just highlighting every other mistake so we forget Zerbia.
so we can't get Zerbia clipped until you're not in the EP chair, huh?
All right, send me Zerbia.
Yes.
You don't need to protect yourself. This is a free.
Thank you,
this
David.
is a safe area. We want you to feel good and relaxed. We want to report back to Dan that everything was great, that this crew that was put together got along. I don't think we're in a position to talk about Caitlin Clark. This is what Dan would say. Jessica and Lucy aren't here. We shouldn't be talking about women's sports. We're not in a position.
I'm never here when that sentence comes out of his mouth. I'm not sure if that's what she was doing right there, but I feel like one of the top in America. No one watches more WNBA than me. That's Rebecca Lobo included. Like,
Count 'em.
Salute. So finish. I'm so sorry for interrupting.
Oh no. That's perfect. Let's go. You got a minute for us? You got something? You got some takes? What you got going
I
on
mean,
here?
I can do it whenever we're ready. If the producers are ready, I can go. But
Hey, get my man a sound bed.
I'll give you a thumbs up when I'm ready.
Find.
dear
Hey,
God, Chris.
hey, Chris. Find something with a little something to it. Don't give him a whack sound bed.
all right, we could
Yeah.
take a break to find the
Yeah,
sound.
yeah,
bit.
take
Wait,
a
wait,
break.
wait,
Don't
wait,
rush
wait.
it.
I want Chris Cody to audition for us the potential sound
Ooh,
beds.
I like that.
And I'll let you know when I have them.
He's got all this board in front of him. We always get in trouble for that, like calling for video when the video guys aren't ready or asking the EP to be ready with something. I thought the job of the EP, and I could be totally wrong, is to know what we're doing before we do it.
He's not a mind reader. I do think that we do have a little opportunity here, though, to sneak back into a little bit more sports business talk. Or should we put the sports business talk later in the show? Have we gone too heavy sports business? Because we haven't
This is
done.
a good dilemma for Chris Cody.
We
Chris
haven't-
Cody. Do you want to hear more hyper-intelligent, first-class sports business discussion? Or do you want to play the sounds that we've asked you to play?
Bore me.
This is not a good sign for the rest of the show.
We could do locker room.
It's not boring.
I
The
don't-
NFL Sunday ticket thing,
couldn't agree
Dominique,
more.
is not boring.
I agree that it's not boring, but I'm looking in the shipping container, and they are our audience surrogates. And as soon as you said NFL Sunday ticket lawsuit, everybody looked down. Look at them.
I like that everybody on the stand was taking opportunity to talk shit about each other on the record. Like, that was interesting to me. Where Roger Goodell was like, you know what? The NFL Network kind of sucked. So, you know what we're going to do? We're going to sell our product to Amazon for $20 billion.
Jerry Jones.
What would it take
talked
to
shit on the
interest
Bengals.
people? This is really where my head is.
Did you hear a little bit of music just
I did.
a minute or
I
so
did
ago?
not.
I did. I heard it.
That was an accident.
Jerry
I
Jones.
told you.
Jerry Jones.
Nice try.
Jerry Jones took shots at the Bengals
At
for
the
no reason
Bengals.
other than he hates the Bengals
Yes.
owner.
What's the number?
Jerry
This is-
Jones took shots at back in our CBA negotiations. Jerry Jones openly And it was always the Bengals as the example getting after them because they took forever to sell the naming rights to the stadium. And so, like, because of revenue sharing, if you can get over a certain threshold, you don't have to pay money to certain teams. And all the teams in the league were selling their stadium naming rights. And the owner of the Bengals was like, nope, we are going to celebrate my dad and keep his name up there. And Jerry's like, you're not maximizing profits. Why should I have to send you money? So that's one of the reasons why he hated
Steinbrenner used to say that, and it made me crazy because it doesn't matter. If you're not sending it to the Brown family, you'd be sending it, it'd be recalculated,
right,
and it'd go to different people. It's not like Jerry Jones would get a discount in relation, in lockstep to what the Bengals naming rights deal
It
was.
just feels like a free rider problem where it's like you guys, and this is the issue with operating as a cartel, which is very different than European sports, is that you get to be a free rider in certain situations. You don't even have to be competitive if you don't want to. You just sit back and make money, and that's how we get pissed off when they make a lot of money and complain about us wanting more money.
The amount of money at stake in this lawsuit, when you account for the treble damages, which is, again, triple the damages, which happens under antitrust law, is $14.4 billion.
Under a violation of antitrust law. But I want to get it down more granular. And what I was trying to get to with Billy and maybe getting everyone's interest. What's the amount of money that you want in your pocket? What refund would you take?
I mean, I'm
that all of
never
a
gonna
sudden.
get a refund.
No, I mean,
So this is awesome.
you might actually. I just put in a claim for the NBA Top Shot settlement.
So did I.
Yeah, but they said you're gonna get like 3 cents per Top Shot you own or something.
I
In a
want
debit
my
card
nickel.
they will send to me, or in the form of a Target or Amazon gift. What did you pick?
did it too.
Did you pick the debit card? Did you pick the gift card?
I picked the gift card.
Oh my God! What from where?
I want a
All right,
gift.
I feel like a member of the shipping container now.
I know.
Yeah.
YouTube, Adam Jameson from YouTube says, shut up in business. So keep the party going.
Nah, I don't care. Hey, Adam, respectfully. Chris, you got some music? Ooh. Oh, where y'all been hiding these slaps?
That ain't it, bro.
It's
That
a
ain't
start.
it.
It's better than I
It's
anticipated.
better than we expected.
Hold up. You got Lucy sound? I mean, you got.
Oh my God!
Again, brother, I hate to do this to you.
No.
How real
Hey.
a mistake that is.
Penalty box, my man.
That's it.
Go ahead, press the button. Press the button.
He's got to go.
Yeah, well, but nobody said it earlier, but those are some 90s ass shorts you got on too, brother.
They're stock 80s.
Those quads.
They are so high up his leg.
Don't be scared of the quads.
What about this one? No, I gotta figure this out.
I like the
Chris
first
is
one a little
leaking
better.
confidence
Yeah.
at a rate that is going to accelerate now that Dominique has left the room.
So what interests me about the Sunday Ticket lawsuit is that there were
The shipping
people
container might get money out
who
of this.
immediately went on the air and said you could be looking at $5,000 for every person who ever had Sunday Ticket. And I went on Nothing Personal and said, if you're holding out for your $5,000, do yourself a favor, like you're going to turn blue. Because there's so many steps left. But the media reported, oh, it's treble damages, it's $14 billion, this could be $200 million per club, and it was a whole Megillah. But it's going to go all the way to the Supreme Court. The issue here...
Which is a fascinating
It's
development.
pretty cool if they would accept it, and I think they will, because getting rid of the antitrust exemption for broadcasting is a possibility, but really it's combining over-the-air and streaming. And if we're going to say that streaming is now the same as over-the-air in every way, that's a big deal.
So the very basics of this are relatable truly to anybody who watches the NFL.
Or TV.
Or TV. But it starts with the very basic premise that if you are a Saints fan living in Los Angeles or a Dolphins fan living in New York, to watch the games of the team that you love, you need to pay now $349
to get every team in every game.
To buy Sunday Ticket. You don't get to buy them a la carte. You don't get to get it piecemeal. You need to buy everything to get anything. And so lawsuits have been brought. A class action lawsuit has been brought, started by this sports bar, and everybody joined in. All of these consumers alleging that it's anti-competitive to force people to pay up to buy all of the NFL stuff when they only want some of the stuff.
And that there are competitors out there who would have paid less for this ticket. ESPN, it came out in the trial. Hey, let's do it for $70. And the NFL came out and said, no, thank you. We like charging $359 to our people. And I get it, because if the basically the customers will pay the price, then you charge that price. And customers were paying the price for a Sunday ticket, but the thought is it could be available for cheaper elsewhere.
Right, and Roger Goodell gambled on this not being a thing. He would need to answer to a $15 billion judgment, and now it might go to the Supreme Court.
It's got to go first to an appellate level, then to the Supreme Court, but we're talking years. So what happened is the media business personalities, not Skipper and not myself, were coming out and saying, get ready, you're getting money. And I just thought that was irresponsible, because people like Billy were thinking, hey, maybe I'll get some cash. It's not going to happen.
I
Billy.
did not think that.
Did you? Did you know for sure immediately?
I will never get money from a class action lawsuit of any kind, ever.
You could opt in.
I'll get 14 cents. I know how these things go.
Speaking,
Also, I'm not going to... What?
Huh?
Chris, I just want to bring everybody behind the curtain here. If you're not watching on YouTube or the DraftKings Network, what you are seeing, what you should be seeing, is Chris Cody's face whenever he tries to press a button. And it's been the face of a man with zero confidence.
You've been killing it, Chris.
Small windows. Sometimes the windows close on your fingers.
Hey.
But we now have a big window to do the thing we've been waiting for, which is play music suitable for Juju Gotti.
Oh, I don't hate this one.
Smooth.
This is smooth. This is smooth. I think Lisa Leslie would like this one as well. Salute to Simone Augustus.
It's as good as it's going to get. Right here.
Yeah. 50 seconds left, so I'm gonna wait.
Yeah, that's all right. We
For
just
the
tested
L1
out.
minute. I mean, WNBA. Pablo, I see you. Give me something, Pablo. 'Cause I can give you a lot right now, but I'm gonna wait till Pablo.
I think it's too much.
You got a freestyle, Pablo?
Are we about to
I thought you was
do
about
a
to-
cipher?
Yeah, Cypher. David Sampson, get in there.
Can you freestyle, David? Let's go.
I've actually never been able to do that.
Try.
Really?
I can only do 50 minutes.
There has never
In a
been
row.
a less essential use of the word actually in the history of speech.
Can you rhyme?
Only when I have the time.
You got 16 seconds.
You just did it.
Oh.
Thank you.
That is a testament to the promise of
Only when
racial
he had
harmony.
Someone
the
send me that
time.
clip.
Only when he had the time at the Marlins committing crimes. Welcome back. We are joined by the great Chris Whittingham, who was once executive producer of this show. He also wears glasses, so I would like you to be able to confirm or deny that Dan Le Batard's glasses are fake and they don't actually magnify anything or improve vision at all.
Just fog.
It's just because he wants them to fog up. It makes them look cute and intense.
You think that's a cute look? I don't think it's a cute look. I've also seen Dan's glasses up close. A lot of thumbprints on them. And so I don't feel like you'd go through the trouble of looking through thumbprints that much if you didn't need them. I've also, I'll hand him a stack of papers and then he'll put the glasses on. So unless it's a full performance, which I don't think Dan capable of in that respect, I think that they are real glasses.
Whitty, there's not one prescription on it.
Yeah, it's tough. They do have food on them though, so maybe they're just for protection.
How can you tell that they have prescriptions on them?
Well, when we put them on,
okay.
More importantly, we wanted to have you on to talk about footy. All right. So you got some beef with Cristiano Ronaldo's performance in the Euros so far. What do you got to say about that?
Yeah, I got the Ronaldo fanboys upset at me, didn't I? So basically, after watching their performance in the Euros, he scored 0 goals. He's 39 years old. And I was really frustrated watching Portugal because they're an amazing team. If you look at their group of players, they might be right up there with the very best teams of the tournament. France, England, Spain, and they just did not look like it at all. And it seemed like the entire time they were in service of Cristiano Ronaldo. And I think it should be the other way around. When you look at the comparable talent between the other players and Ronaldo, he should be servicing them. He should be trying to fit his game around them. And instead, they're pumping in crosses. He's crying at halftime of extra time in the Slovenia game in the round of 16. He's taking penalties and missing them. He served almost no function in this team, and yet somehow he was untouchable. The manager couldn't sub him off, and he was the star of the show the entire time. That makes no sense to me, given where he's at in his career. I understand everything he's contributed to Portugal and growing the profile of Portugal in the world, but at this point, it's time for him to go. It was time for him to go 2 years ago, and somehow still the Portuguese national team thinks this is all about Ronaldo. Guys, it's not. It's not anymore.
633. Do you know what that number is? Whitty, does that number mean anything to anyone in this room?
I believe the number of career goals that Cristiano Ronaldo has scored.
I believe it's the number of millions of Instagram followers he has as the number one, not Kardashian, not Taylor Swift. Ronaldo is the single most popular person in the world, not in sports, more than the king. Therefore, he has earned the right that he gets to decide when he hangs them up.
By accruing Instagram followers?
Yes. Popularity wins the day.
He's hot.
Every time.
So hot.
And let's not forget, he's only 39 and looks really good still. So in that Portugal uni, I believe that everyone will always service him until he steps away.
That got real explicit at the
He's
end.
not good. He's not good anymore. Or at least he's not good at this level anymore. And he demonstrated it over and over again. And at a certain point, this is a sporting competition, not an Instagram competition. And it seems like he is dead set on playing all the way through to the 2026 World Cup. He's gonna be 41 years old, running around out there because he's got Instagram followers. Like he's gonna try and Tom Brady this thing without winning anything like Tom Brady did. Like it's over for him at top level.
Also Diana Taurasi in this thing. But salute. Back to you.
Whitty, Pablo Torre here, guy who's swagger you jacked. I have a question about what the Cristiano Ronaldo fanboy is like. How would you characterize his army of fans? What distinguishes them? Because I'm not native to this part of the internet, apparently, and there are 633 million of them or whatever.
Did you confirm? Is that the number, Chris?
Confirmed.
Thank you.
So to answer your question, I think the Ronaldo... So basically, the soccer internet has divided itself amongst Messi people and Ronaldo people. And everything is viewed through the prism of that one singular sports debate. There is a whole other segment of people that just don't engage with that. But amongst the fanboys, there is certainly a section of Messi supporters too. But the Ronaldo fans, they're armed with a full amount of talking points. Like, this is politics, where they go, he scored this number of goals in the Champions League knockout round. He's won this, he's won that. What has Messi done? And then the Messi people will go, well, he's actually scored goals in the World Cup knockout round. That's actually one of my favorite stats. Cristiano Ronaldo in 4 World Cups has never scored in the knockout round of the World Cup. It's fairly remarkable. But when you look at that debate, I think that's everything. And so it was about Real Madrid and Barcelona, and now it's about these two people, how they are aging, and everything is viewed through the prism of, how does this suit my argument in the debate? How does this suit the way that my worldview? Because they also represent two different things. Ronaldo has more Instagram followers than Messi, despite, in my opinion, Messi being better player, because Ronaldo represents something. He represents the right. He represents also he represents that look. He represents that you pop your chest out and you stick it out before a free kick and you go, before you take a big free kick in a big game, and it's about aura. It's about all these nonsense things. And so as a kind of person that likes an individualist in the world, whereas Messi is this demure, team first, helping others, creating for others, and helping to lead his team. They represent
I
two
get the
completely
sense that
different
Whitty's
things.
a Messi guy.
What makes you say that? Messi's a team first guy. It's all about Miami.
Since Whitty's a Messi guy and Ronaldo is no longer participating, we can go ahead and talk about Argentina in the Copa because they are still playing. What should we be excited about for 8 o'clock tonight where they take on our continent mates? I guess South America versus North America. Who are you rooting for in this one?
So I'm probably going to root for Canada in this one. And despite this scurrilous accusation that you think that I can only be a Messi guy, he has not been good at this
bed's
Copa
a pretty
America.
Messi guy bed behind you.
He has not been good at this Copa America. He has been injured in this Copa America. And there's some legitimate conversations about whether or not his level has fallen off. Now, he does have the ultimate argument winner, which is that he won the last World Cup and he can round himself into form, because the thing about Argentina is we don't really know much about this Argentina team because they haven't played anybody. Their group was a joke. Their knockout round thus far has been a joke. They haven't played anybody. All of the good teams were on the other side of the bracket. So realistically, they had their ticket for the final in Miami basically already punched before the tournament even started. They just got to beat, at this point, one of either Uruguay or Colombia in the final in Miami, and they could potentially win another major tournament. But really, we don't really know what this team looks like. Messi has not been great, but against Canada tonight, they probably played their best game of the tournament against Canada that second half in the opening game of the tournament. So I think that Argentina will probably win tonight just because they have a lot more talent, but I don't think we know a ton about them at this moment.
Lads, while we're talking about the beautiful game, let me remind you that with not one, but 2 massive soccer tournaments happening right now, our partners at DraftKings Sportsbook have an offer for all customers. That's right, David, all customers. When you place a pre-match 3-way moneyline bet on a team to win only, if that game ends in a draw, you'll get your original bet back as a bonus bet. Euro 2024 or Copa America only, pre-match moneyline bets to win only. Max reward varies, opt-in required, only on DraftKings. The crown is yours.
What a read. That
was breathy.
What an EP.
I couldn't catch my breath through the whole thing.
You had it almost right.
I read it correctly, but the breath was way off.
You have to figure out when you're going to pause on those reads.
Thank you, David.
He did that. He confirmed the number of total Instagram followers.
And he got music for Juju.
Actually,
It's
while
been
we were
very busy.
talking, I refreshed. It's actually 634 million now.
Wow. On top of
because of this show.
Picked up $1 million during this interview.
Witty, is it
It could have been one, though.
Definitely what happened instead of Chris just totally not checking.
Is it are you really broken up about the U.S. team not making it out of the group stage? Because you strike me as a bed maker, and the idea that your bed is unmade
can you tilt
right
your camera
now,
down a bit? Because I don't know if the people on YouTube and the DraftKings Network can necessarily see just the mound. There it is.
Yeah, that seems. It seems like you're stressed. Are you stressed? Is this a Berhalter?
No, I'm not stressed. I got into Atlanta at around 1:30 in the morning last night, so it was definitely a late rise for me, and I had to grab a shower. So unfortunately, I was not able to make the bed to the satisfaction
a lot of
of the
pillows
Le
on that
Batard
bed.
audience.
So
there are a lot.
Nice hotel. What hotel is that?
But also, none of them are good. I wish hotel pillows were better.
Magic City tonight, bro. Magic City. Wings?
Good wings?
Nothing.
Man,
No.
we broke Whitty.
No, I will not be visiting. I'll not be visiting Magic City after my game in Kennesaw tonight. I will be staying in the lovely surrounds of Kennesaw, Georgia.
Would it shock you
Salute
to
to the
know
house.
that I do not unmake a hotel bed, that I slip into it?
Bruh, me too, bruh. Okay, I'm glad we're here. I keep a extra suitcase. I got a carry-on suitcase with just comforters and this trophy in it for here. As soon as I get here, I go into the secret closet, go to the room, put that on top of the cover because spring break here at the Elser seems wild, according to my sheets a couple of times ago. And so I never touch these sheets. So, bruh, David Sampson, you are a mensch.
Wait, you like slide in? Like, what's
So,
the visual of
You
this?
guys don't unkick. I gotta get those tight covers out of here.
What Whitty
Right,
is
because
doing-
they're pinned underneath the bottom of the bed, and so you can't fully elongate your legs. You gotta get it swept out so that you can have some room to operate.
I'm 65 inches.
Hell yeah.
I don't have any issue with elongating my legs.
Who describes their height in
Staying
that
away from that
fashion?
Somebody for whom the inches are more impressive than the feet.
What was on your sheet when you got here?
Oh, it was okay. This was a couple of times ago, and it was while I was putting my sheet on top of. I got a sheet and then I got a comforter. I was putting it on. I was like, "Wait, what is that red dot on the white cover?" And so I took that cover off and threw it under the damn bed, well, under the closet thing. You feel me? And I just, it's so disgusting.
Would
Salute
you
to
rather
spring break.
a red dot or a white dot on your sheets?
Put it on the poll.
Chris Whittingham, something, soccer, Spain and France. Who
David
you got?
Sampson is spasming.
I can't believe Whitty's room. I'm happy for you, Whitty. Hey, do you ever go to the Stanford studio for Galazzo?
What are
Yes.
we doing?
I don't know.
So we're letting Whitty go. He's got stuff to do.
We're letting him go. Let him go.
We have to let him go.
Go
He's
for
got
it.
stuff he wants to do.
I like Spain today. Spain. They're a good team.
Oh, good pick.
Also, red dot or white dot on your sheets. What would you prefer?
Probably red.
Love you, Whitty.
I think I go white.
Love you too, lads.
You can catch Whitty on CBS Sports Galazzo and Apple TV.
Thank you, sir. Well
Thank you,
done,
Whitty.
Whitty.
Thank you, Whitty.
Bye.
I don't care what color the dot is. If I see a dot, I'm switching rooms, maybe hotels. I cannot bear the thought of that.
I've only
Me
switched
three.
hotels one time in my life. It's
Because of dot?
The carpets were damp.
That could be
It
condensation.
was in
from air
Orlando. I went
conditioning.
cheap on the hotel. It was like it was years ago when I was and I was at some I don't remember where the hotel was, but the floors were damp.
What movie did you watch last night?
Yesterday, I watched Dancer in the Dark.
All right, loved it.
It's an intense movie. It's with Bjork. I haven't reviewed it yet on Nothing Personal, but we could do a movie review segment. We have a WNBA
I
segment.
mean, we got two Jews
We have
cutting it
all
up. at the
Wait a
same
minute, hold
time.
on, wait a minute. What's that sound? That musical sound I hear. What is that very catchy musical sound that
Pavlo.
an executive producer may or may not recognize?
We still got to do your top 5 at some point.
Hey, we inside. Look, and this is what I'm gonna do. WNBA minute, no notes. I'm not even gonna look at the notes. I'm just gonna top of the dome. If I need help remembering some teams, that's all I might need. Bottom of the league right now. Salute to the Dallas Wings. They're getting it together. With the addition of Odyssey Sims, that has changed the complexion of the team. Natasha Howard being back too. Don't over or underrate that. That is properly rated. Because Enrique always is going to be Enrique. I need a pause. I didn't breathe. I didn't do the thing that David said. Catch your breath first. I came in
I'm
hot.
with you.
So yeah, let me take a deep breath. All right. The LA Sparks, right behind them, or ahead of them. They just got Azare Stevens back. That right there will prove, I promise to God, Azare Stevens coming back will cancel out the loss of Cameron Brink, because I feel like they are about the same type of player, same position. But with Talbot getting hurt the other night, that really hurt as well. But so keep faith in the LA Sparks. If you're an LA Sparks fan, I see you guys. Ari McDonald, welcome back to the league. Welcome back to prominence, because she is in the mix. Salute to the team. Moving on, the Atlanta Dream. The Atlanta Dream got a lot of work to do. You feel me? In my opinion right now, they might. I'm not gonna say that. I love my Dream owners. I got faith with you guys, but we've had a lot of injuries this year. Like, We got Ryan hurt. We got Neighborhood Canada hurt, Jordan Canada. We got a lot of people just on the team just not ready for the championship this year. And I see Paige around the corner. I'm not saying we should tank for Paige, but I'm just saying I'm not saying that either. Salute to the dream. We're going to get it together. Above them, I see I done talked the bed out. We back. You dig me? Above those, the Washington Mystics. The Washington Mystics are not their record. I repeat, the Washington Mystics are not their record. Big Mama Steph is in the building. Salute to her. They got key injuries as well. Shakira Austin, B. Sykes. Oh my God, B. Sykes. If B. Sykes come back, the Washington Mystics are a top 5 team right now, ready to go. Also, moving on, congratulations. I'm going to go a little higher in the standings. Congratulations to the Minnesota Lynx for winning the Commissioner Cup. Holy moly. Salute to Lil Feezy, a.k.a. Nafisa Collier. She won the MVP, the Commissioner's Cup MVP. Even though Bridget Carlton should have won that MVP that night because she put in 23 points and it was really the reason. But get well soon, Lil Feezy. She had a leg or ankle. I'm not sure, right, but she's sitting out right now. So it's going to take Bridget to step up again. It's going to take Courtney Williams. It's going to take a team collaborative effort. And salute to my big Dorka Yuha. Salute. Dom?
I don't know. That might have been like 3 minutes. W got a lot of minutes. I got one question for you to close it out.
Sorry.
No need to apologize. That was plenty of W. Can anybody knock off the Aces? Is there any realistic chance? Let's close it out. Is there any team that can beat the Aces, or is it a foregone
Aces or
conclusion?
the field? Who you got, Juju?
It's the New York Liberty doing good and the Connecticut Sun doing good. And I want to congratulate Angel Reese also for goddamn doing breaking the record. She broke Candace Parker's record, 13 double-doubles in a row. Also, Caitlin Clark, she did the first triple-double in history by a rookie. So I want to get to them sisters first. But the Connecticut Sun, they also got something to say about the Aces championship title run as well as the New York Liberty. I think the New York Liberty going to go and win this year. Salute.
Ooh, we're calling upset alert.
Salute to John Quayle. I love you.
That's the field.
Yeah, that is the field.
Aces versus the field. He took the field.
Well done, Chris. Nice job with the music.
Sorry.
Chris was
you were great.
Chris was so self-satisfied that entire time.
What?
I
didn't do anything there.
No. It was just like, look at the music that I queued up. And
I feel like that's the least of the important things he's done so far today, trying to keep this house in order. I think he did a great job with it, but it's the WNBA minute that mattered more. The content of what Juju said was better than the music.
And I got to sharpen that up. I feel like I was rambling too much. I did too much lows, and I should have went straight in.
Is Jessica's F1 minute actually 60 seconds? Because the 2-minute intro to the show, as an example, is not 2 minutes.
It's the fastest 2 minutes in all of sports, actually. That's what they say.
So is Jessica's F1 minute 1 minute?
It's the bet is about a minute. Give or take, David.
So the WNBA minute needs
a lot of bet.
Yeah, it needs to tighten up. WNBA
tighten
minute has a lot of work to do, and I'm sorry. Look, I'm gonna do better, guys. I got your back next time.
I love the end though, because what struck me about the WNBA recently. Did you see the vote counts for the All-Star game?
Nope.
Yes.
So the vote counts
multiples larger than it was last year.
6x. 700,000, 600,000 for Reese and Caitlin, and last year the top vote getters were in the 60,000 range.
Right.
That is that's a major thing. You're vibrating. Everything okay?
Yeah, just phone.
It's been a couple times.
And the All-Star game being in Phoenix this year is a big deal because Diana Taurasi gets to go out on top.
Juju Gotti is trying to explain to everybody should appear as extreme and deep WNBA knowledge. He's trying to squeeze in a million things and prove that he actually watches this league. And David Sampson is going at Dominique over his vibrating phone.
I'm incredibly distracted by the fact that it's happened not once but now twice, and it's been vibrating the whole table. Do people not know you're working now?
Have a little focus, man. You can fight through a little phone vibration.
You know what vibrates the whole table? Kalia Copper coming down the lane when BG's right there. Salute to Skylar Diggins Smith as well and Seattle Storm. They are looking good.
Do you have full credibility when there's no one you don't like?
What does that mean?
Is there a team that you don't like in the WNBA or a player you don't like?
Yes, absolutely. But I'm not sure that this is a great topic because you know how we sit here and say Darvin Ham should be fired, and we get into the microphone and say, James Harden, you're fat, or James Harden, you're doing this. We haven't reached that level, in my opinion, that we can actually say certain things to these women, these powerful women.
I want to get to that level.
Right, and that's why I'm teetering that line because there's a lot of changes I could see being made, but I don't want to harp on. You know what I mean?
You want to get to a world where we can tell the women they're fat? What are we talking about?
Not fat. No.
All right. I want to talk about, since we got we're coming off the Aces, one of the best teams, constructed teams in basketball. At some point, I want to talk about Pablo's boy, Daryl Morey, who is either the most overrated or underrated GM in all of basketball because he manages to put together really impressive teams time and time again, but not really make it or never make it to.
Why are we slandering? We had another segue there. Speaking of James Harden, let's talk about the guy in Daryl Morey who has seen the future of the game, I think, as clearly as anybody has.
And said it's not James Harden.
And said, in the end, I'm going to need to move on from this James Harden guy. It's remarkable what the Sixers have done. So for people who aren't familiar, the 76ers were, and this is a great graphic we've just put on screen, but the 76ers entering this offseason had one move to make, and if they did not make that move, they would have been totally fucked. And that move was signing Paul George. And so for people who aren't familiar with what happened, Daryl basically went all in on, I can acquire this guy by trade in this new version of the collective bargaining agreement that has changed the economics of the NBA. And if I can do it, then I'm back in the game. And if I can't, I am, in fact, deeply, deeply overrated. And so I think the question is, like, did Daryl Morey, or rather, did Daryl Morey have on the line his entire reputation this offseason? And I think he salvaged it by getting Paul George, while also getting, by the way, an Ocean's 11 roster of guys that he keeps on assembling for one more job.
Yeah, it's got to be Ocean's 12 or 13 by now. He's been doing it far too many times, but I do think
Ocean's 8. He hasn't won anything.
He hasn't won anything, which is why I said he's overrated and underrated, because the moves that he makes are like the James Harden move, initial James Harden move is incredible. And then managing to put together a team around him that was competitive despite the fact that no one thought it would be. Impressive. And then moving to the 76ers and really putting together a team that seems like a real Eastern Conference contender right now.
Yes.
Despite the fact that Joel Embiid can't stay healthy. And he did it after putting together a team that we thought was the Eastern Conference contender the time before with limited assets. So the strategies of Daryl Morey have seemed pretty sound and impressive and sometimes even innovative. But the results, which is interesting to me that you say that.
I like Daryl Morey.
Yeah, he hasn't won
I do.
anything.
But what? I'm just curious, and I may have it wrong because I didn't know where we were going. Does he have a ring on his finger?
No.
I have the Sixers. Why you're so up on the Sixers?
you
Has that
playing
process been
Pablo?
trusted?
He's been to one conference finals. I
Eastern
believe.
Conference Finals.
Pablo,
Yeah.
do you think the
West,
Sixers team gets out of the second round?
Yes.
I
Really?
do not.
You
I
think they're
do.
better than the Knicks or Celtics?
I think they're better than the Knicks, and I think that and look, so we're in this era where there's no real big three as a trend anymore, and the Sixers have the greatest big three in the NBA. Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey, and Paul George is the greatest big three in the NBA.
I'm going to give an over-under and a wait to see. So we're going to mix nothing personal with the Le Batard Show. What is the total number of games that Embiid, George, and Maxey will be in the starting lineup together out of 82? I'm going to set the market, and then you go over-under, and we're going to remember this clip when the NBA season's over.
Okay.
45.
Over.
Okay.
I definitely think they go over 45. But
I think this Olympics don't help though. Like with Joel Embiid, salute to wanting to play, but brother, last time we saw you, you had one eye and one leg. So like, brother, like take a summer off. If I'm a Sixers fan,
yeah,
It's outrageous that he's playing the Olympics. I would not have, if I'm the Sixers owners, I am not allowed. I don't want him to get 1 minute of playing time.
He'll
during
sit
the
out
Olympics.
versus Serbia.
Yeah. I mean, there won't be a ton of pressure on him like that.
Sorry, Serbia.
I think
I thought you did that. That's why you said it.
you know that it won't be a ton of pressure on him. I think that it's partially the experience for Joel Embiid. I'm not sure. I get the point that you're making.
He's injured every year.
I get it.
But
But I don't think that this particular thing is going to be deciding factor. He's injured every year. He's going to be injured again. That's the deciding factor in their season every year. Whether we're going to say Daryl Morey is a genius or is a failure is going to be based on whether the player who can never stay healthy in the postseason can
But
actually
you took
one
the
time
over of
stay
45,
healthy.
so you
Yeah.
assume he's going to be not out for half the season.
I don't think that was a hard call to take the over on 45.
What would have made the harder call? 65?
Yeah.
That's the easiest under of all time.
No. Look, here's my thing with Daryl. I want to be clear about this. It's not that I think he is like a super genius. I just think he is super savvy about the rules of the game. And he is the classic example of somebody who the league office has to worry about when it comes to somebody exploiting all of the ways that a team can be innovative around contracts, around how to pay guys, around how to build teams. And all of that is also existing alongside a very basic observation around how Daryl has operated, which is he fetishizes stars. On some level, like the very basic math of the NBA is the story of the most advanced math guy in the same sport, which is that in an era in which it's harder to get stars than ever because of the changing business of the CBA, the reason they got Paul George is because the Clippers said in a press release, David, that was stunning, the CBA prevented us from re-signing.
That's not what they said. That's not what they said.
What'd they
I
say?
led Nothing Personal with this morning.
What'd they say?
They didn't. They said that having bringing all three guys back was a priority they wanted to do, but the constraints of the CBA, not the rules of the CBA, they could have done it. They could have gone into an apron with Ballmer. They absolutely could have. They didn't feel it was necessary or appropriate to pay George what he wanted because he took the 4 years, $212 with the no trade.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that the math of the CBA has incentivized a cheapness among even the richest, literally the richest of the NBA owners.
He loves his stars and also the same 7 guys that he signs at every team, everywhere he goes, every time.
He does. Can we have that graphic again?
It's only on for like 5 seconds each time it's on, or 2 seconds.
Pablo, it's not just stars, though. He fetishizes foul grifters. And that's the thing that's why Daryl gets so much shit from NBA fans. Because it's not just that they're great players. They're guys that are trying to cheat the rules.
Yeah,
and then don't play well in the playoffs.
Okay, so the playoffs thing, look, when the Rockets missed 27 3-pointers in Game 7 of the Western Conference Finals against the Warriors, that is a choke job that I cannot spin. That should have been Daryl Morey's best chance at a title, and they missed 27 3-pointers. When it comes to Joel Embiid and James Harden, I have been an enormous critic of how much they have made their own beds quite messy when it comes to how they performed. It's been an enormous problem. So the question for me is, how do you improve the hand you've been dealt with Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid? You get the guy that you have not had since Jimmy Butler, which is in Paul George, a two-way wing who can defend the opposing star that is typically that position. They haven't had that since Jimmy.
Well, he's going to have to get to the finals and win, or else he's going to be general managing and
Zerbia.